For now, let's practice connecting the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera on so that we can do this together. Okay, mama, let's work on connecting our diaphragm and our pelvic floor. Remember from our lecture that our diaphragm and pelvic floor work together as we breathe. Inhale, the diaphragm and pelvic floor push down, and then passive exhale, they come back up. So we're going to learn how to do that together by expanding on our inhale and then passively deflating. So today you're going to need a towel and a yoga block. You can also use a stack of books or a stool, and then come to a wall. So place that towel on whatever you have to sit on. Then I want you to find a yogi squat. So feet flat onto the floor and then knees open wide. Really nice flattering crotch shot of me right now. But this puts us in a really advantageous position to be able to connect with that pelvic floor movement. Now the towel is here so that you can feel the movement of that pelvic floor. On your inhale, as you send the breath down, I want you to feel like your pelvic floor is pushing down into that towel. And then on the exhale, I want you to feel like it's just lifting up. So let's walk through what I want you to feel on this inhale. Right hand on your bra line, left hand onto the belly. As you inhale, you want to find 360 expansion. So the ribs expanding out to the side, your back expanding further towards the back, so the thumb is wrapping around here so that you can breathe into that thumb, and then a slight belly rise. Watch out for that belly breathing. It is your weakest point now after having a belly where the abs are stretched out. So most moms want to breathe just into the belly and do full belly breathing. We don't want to do that. Try to focus on expanding into the ribs and back first, then sending the overflow of the breath into the belly. So it's just a slight rise, then down into the pelvic floor to blossom. Then on the exhale, you just want to deflate. Passive exhale, no engagement of the pelvic floor, just to deflate, releasing the air up. So the pelvic floor just comes back to its starting point, sends the air back up to release. Diaphragm comes back up into place. So just watch me here really quickly. I'm going to inhale down, expand, create a slight constriction in my throat because it helps you seep in the air and control where the breath is going instead of a big gust of air in. So slight constriction at the back of the throat, inhaling down, expansion. Loud passive exhale, just deflating. I actually feel both hands just coming back in. All right, try that with me. So if your right hand isn't already at the bra line, make sure it is. Right thumb is wrapping behind you, and then left hand at the belly. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, expand, breathe into this right hand. Find that expansion of the ribs out. Send that breath into your thumb so the back reaches out, slight belly rise. Feel your pelvic floor blossom down into that towel. Passive exhale. Let that all go. No contraction of the pelvic floor. Just feeling both hands come back in to release the air, deflate. Nice. 2 more times. Inhale. Expand, 360 expansion, really focusing on that rib expansion, that back expansion, overflow into the belly, and then down into the pelvic floor. Passive exhale out through the mouth. Keep exhaling, exhaling, exhaling all the air out. Get it all out. Nice. 1 more time. Inhale. Nice and long. Passive exhale out. Nice. Go ahead and release. That's where the slight constriction at the back of the throat can help you. It allows you, again, to seep in and out the air in little bits, and lengthening out the inhale and the exhale instead of just sending a huge gush of air in and out. Now, a couple things I want to go over with you. 1, if you are feeling like you are hitting a wall when you're trying to breathe down and your pelvic floor doesn't quite feel like it's releasing, you're stuck at that ground level and you don't feel that blossoming sensation, that's okay. It may just take you some time to release. If you're feeling like you're practicing and you're just stuck and you don't feel that blossoming sensation at all, that could be a sign that you have a hypertonic pelvic floor, or what you learned in the lecture, a overly active and too tight pelvic floor. You really want to make sure you address that hypertonic pelvic floor and try to release and find that blossoming sensation, not just while you are in class, but also throughout your day while you're breathing. Now, hypertonic pelvic floors can come about because of habits, because of past trauma, whether it's birth, sexual experiences, etc. So it's something that you want to reflect on and think about. When are you clenching your pelvic floor and why are you clenching your pelvic floor? It's something that a pelvic floor physical therapist can really help you with. They can do an internal assessment and also some internal therapy to help release those muscles. It's also something you can do on your own with a massage ball, just placing that massage ball on your pelvic floor as you're seated and then just rolling around, just noticing where you feel tenderness as you're massaging on that ball. You can start off with a really soft ball, even like a toy bouncy ball, a small toy bouncy ball or a tennis ball, and just trying to get those knots out just like you would in a tight shoulder muscle or a tight glute muscle. So instead of sending pressure straight down into the pelvic floor, you want to think about slowly sleeping that air in to fill the pelvic bowl. That's where the focus of expanding through the ribs in the back and then a little expansion through the belly and then down in the pelvic floor will help. So try to use less force of sending that breath down and thinking more expansion, 360, and then down to fill the pelvic bowl. Last thing I want to touch on is belly breathing, which we already talked about a little bit while we were breathing. Your weakest point right now is your midline after having a pregnant belly. So your pressure is going to want to escape through your weakest point. So it's really common for postpartum moms who are trying to learn this breath to only expand in the front. I want you to be really mindful of that and focus your attention on expanding first in the ribs in the back. So you're expanding out to the sides, left and right, and then your back is expanding towards the back. And then you want the overflow of the breath to spill in the belly so that it rises a little bit, but not so much. And then the rest of the air flows down into the pelvic floor to release. So just be mindful of that as you're breathing and just try to notice if you're able to get that left and right rib expansion and the back expanding in the back before you see the belly rise gently. All right, let's try that one more time together. We're going to place the left hand on the bra line this time, just to make sure that you're feeling the expansion on the ribs on this side, and then right hand onto your belly. Knees open wide, feet flat on the ground, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep inhale breath, breathe into this left hand, feel the hand expand out, and then the thumb expand back. Slight rise of the belly. Pelvic floor blossoms, push down into that towel. Passive exhale. Everything comes back together to deflate. No activation of the pelvic floor. Inhale down to expand. Expand in the ribs, in the back. Down into the pelvic floor. Nice long exhale, passive exhale, release the air. Nice. One more time. Inhale, expand, ribs, back, belly, down into the pelvic floor. Feel that pelvic floor release into the towel. Nice long passive exhale. Feel the pelvic floor lift up and then deflate the hands. And release. All right, mama, hopefully this gives you a little bit more of a concrete overview of the breathing that we'll be working through throughout the next 6 weeks. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and like you're not connecting all the way, don't worry, I wouldn't expect you to. This is just the beginning so that you understand what you're looking for and what you're working towards throughout the next 6 weeks. So give yourself time, give yourself some practice. You can practice even outside of the classes while you're just doing daily things in the car, standing, doing dishes, cooking, and things like that. I like to do it while I'm brushing my teeth or in the shower. So practice, practice, practice. It will come in time, I promise. Trust yourself and trust the process and just enjoy the deep breathing. All right, I will see you in